Welcome back to Hellbound Garage. Today we're going to be talking about what I pack when you have an old vehicle like this that you need to take on a long road trip. So in this bag I always put a few things anytime that I travel more than an hour away from home in an older vehicle. In this case, the Tundra. The Mazda I'm not worried about because I do, like I said and keep saying, I do all the maintenance, I check it normally, like that thing is super reliable. The Tundra, on the other hand, I don't know the entire history of it. It could blow up tomorrow depending on what previous owners did. So just to prepare myself a little bit, I always pack an emergency bag. In that emergency bag, it's pretty much always the same thing. For me, I go straight into my toolbox. I grab my 1/4 inch sockets, 3/8 sockets and 1/2 inch sockets, along with a couple of extensions and the ratchets that go with. Next, I always bring a hammer. In this case, it's mini sledge. The rest of my hammers are scattered throughout my house, so mini sledge it is. Next on the list is wrenches. In this case, I have my nice rack of metric wrenches that'll be going with me also. Next, it's going to be some adjustable wrenches, just in case for whatever reason those wrenches don't work, and some pliers. I always have kind of an assortment because you never know. Next will be some cutting tools, which in my case are these shears and an X-Acto. Trust me, these things save your life more often than you know. I've learned from past experience that not having these, bad luck. Next is screwdrivers. I always take at least 2 Phillips and 2 flathead, typically of a variety of sizes, because you just never know. And something a lot of people don't think about, wiring tools. I always pack them. I've never had to use them, but they're there in case. Strippers and crimpers. And another thing a lot of people don't think about, duct tape, electrical tape, and zip ties. Kind of running low on zip ties because I've been using a lot of them. But anyways, always bring these guys because these will band-aid a lot of things to get you somewhere safe. Now that's everything that goes into that yellow bag. And the pack list now includes what goes in this bag. This bag holds my electrical tools, and I always take 2 in particular. And the 2 that I always take with me, my portable air compressor and my impact. Now, brands aside, these are still 2 really good tools to bring with you. The last trip I took with some family members, we actually ended up using this on a family member's vehicle because their tire pressures, it was in that cold, warm time, and the tire pressures deflated enough that the TPMS light came on and the family members were a little concerned. So we stopped, used this bad boy, and kept on trucking. No reason to pull into a gas station or freak out. Just fill it with air and keep on moving. And the last thing that goes in that bag is this, a fully charged battery. Now, I have enough chargers from battery packs that I've bought in the past that I actually keep one in that bag at all times. But last thing you want to do is have to sit there and wait for a battery to charge if you end up using those tools, and that's the only way to get around it. So I always make sure I have a fully charged battery in that bag. Now, that takes care of the tools that I bring with me from my toolbox. Now there's a couple of other things, and we'll show you those. Most of the time they make a home in the vehicle that I drive, just because I don't need them for anything else besides road trips or off-road adventures or things of that nature. Alright, the first thing you're going to notice is the high lift jack. This makes its home in my truck, and I don't use it for anything else besides the truck normally, unless I'm lifting a car onto a rotisserie. But anyways, that always finds its home in there, in my truck. It's where it lives. The next thing you're going to notice is this guy right here, this piece of pipe. So this is my makeshift breaker bar, and that always finds a home with me in the truck anytime I leave town. Normally it's in the garage because I use it to break free very tight and rusty bolts, but it always finds its way into the truck when I'm taking long trips. Alright, the next thing you're going to notice is over here. I actually have not one, but two coolant containers for the truck. I'm not really sure how that worked out. I think I was going to do a coolant flush and then ended up buying something else. I don't know. Anyways, I always have coolant in the truck. I even have coolant in the Mazda in case something were to happen there. And then this other bottle here is motor oil. But that was the motor oil that I just drained out of the truck. That's my winter motor oil. So the container over there, the white container, that is the remnants of the summer oil change or warm weather oil change. So this will be swapped out for that. Always make sure you have fluids. Now in the Mazda, I also have a gallon of water. Typically we use it for dog parks and whatnot. It can be used to fill your radiator if you have a mishap there. And it also comes as handy as drinking water. I cannot tell you how important it is to have some kind of water in your vehicle for long trips. The problem is if you break down in the middle of nowhere, you get stuck in stop traffic, you could be there for a while. And that also leads me into the next point that is not currently in the truck, and that is paper towel of some kind. Or paper product in general, because you can use it to clean up messes, as well as you can use it if you need to go on the side of the road. So, alright, a couple of other odds and ends. I always have an assortment of ratchet straps. Always something good to have, especially in a truck, maybe not so much in a car. This is an inverter. This is just kind of oddly specific because it's the only place that made sense for any of our vehicles. I actually have some rags which will take place of paper products if need be. I managed to find another hammer in my truck I didn't know I had. Gloves are always a good thing to have. And then it's always good to have some kind of a tow strap. It doesn't help if you get stuck, whether it be on the side of the highway or in the woods, and not be able to have anything to use to pull you out. So I also happen to keep a shovel in my truck because, once again, that's oddly specific for off-road. And then look, I actually had another chunk of pipe already sitting in the truck instead of the big one. I didn't realize I had this in here until making this video. So, alright, and the last couple of things, hold on, let me pop this up, are going to be found in here. And normally this is where all my ratchet straps go, but the most important thing in here is going to be this guy, jumper cables. I thought my jump box that I bought was going to be enough anytime that I went out of town, and my truck decided to prove me wrong. I had a fully charged jump pack with me, and I went skiing. Anyways, I went to the slopes by myself, had my jump box with me just in case, because I always pack that kind of stuff. And I get done skiing all day long, and for whatever reason, my truck is dead. I didn't leave anything on. Nothing came on when I finally got it started. But nobody had jumper cables to be able to help me. I found it took me like an hour to find one guy that had a set of jumper cables in his vehicle, which is kind of scary that many people don't have jumper cables. But my truck taught me that jumper cables are always a thing. One last thing I forgot that's oddly specific to my truck or maybe outdoorsy vehicles is I also have a hatchet that is stored away in my truck too. Can you tell that I've been stuck in the middle of the woods in a muddy spot and couldn't get out? Yeah, I learned fast. Anyways, that is how I prep any old vehicle for a road trip of any kind that's more than an hour away from home. An hour away from home isn't bad because I have family members that are relatively close that can help me all within that hour range. Anything past that, things get a little complicated. So I always have my fluids, always have my tools, because I don't want to be stuck on the side of the road. So anyways, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you for watching. Maybe you learned something. If you haven't, well, thank you for watching anyways. Thank you for the support. Until the next one.